I think he's the toughest guard in the NBA. First of all, he's big. He's strong. He finishes at the basket. Three-point shots. He got mid-range game. One of the best passers in the league, leading the league in assists right now. There's nothing that he can't do on the offensive end of the floor to affect the basketball game.
Fear the beard. The Rockets knocked off the Spurs in a battle of Texas last night behind a huge night from James Harden. He finished the game with his 10th career triple-double, 24 points, 15 assists, and 12 rebounds. Harden averaging a career high in points, assists, and field goal percentage this season. Stephen A., do you still think it's not good for D'Antoni to use Harden as a point guard?
Well, obviously, I'd look like a damn fool if I said no, but I guess I'm a damn fool because that's how I feel. Let's see as the season progresses. Let's be clear, and let me be very accurate, rather very clear and concise about what I had to say. James Harden is a superstar. He's averaging 30 and 13 and 8. We know he could do this. We knew he could do this because he played the point sometimes when he was in Oklahoma City. What I said that it wasn't a good idea because of two components that had very little to do with James Harden. It wasn't just that he's got a penchant for shooting and holding the ball. It was because you have a system with D'Antoni, okay, who isn't known for playing defense, and you're going to get rid of the ball in like 7 to 10 seconds. And so there's a lot of shots that's going to be jacked up. There's not going to be much fluidity to the offense, and then you're going to be resigned to just watching James Harden put on the individual kind of show that he's capable of putting on. Having said that, let me take a moment to give D'Antoni credit. The defense is ranked 21st. That's not that great. But they're leading the league in 3 points attempted, and they're 6th in the league in terms of percentage of the 3 points made. You got to give a lot of credit to that. James Harden is definitely giving up the rock. It helps that Ryan Anderson is hitting 48% of his three-pointers right now, and Eric Gordon has shown life as well. So he deserves a lot of credit for that. But it's still early in the season. You're 5-3. You've had games against the Knicks. You've had 2 games against Dallas. Yes, you've played Cleveland and Atlanta and San Antonio as well, even though you lost to the Lakers too. But I guess what I'm saying is I need to see more as this season progresses, as folks figure out what D'Antoni exactly is doing on offense, because on offense, the man knows what he's doing. And you got to give credit where credit is doing. He's doing a good job thus far. But in the end, I'll wait and see. Right now, numbers-wise, it appears to be the right decision. I appear to be wrong, but I'm thinking about what Houston can be as a team in terms of the postseason picture and how formidable they're going to be with James Harden doing this as the elite teams or the better teams come at you, particularly the better defensive teams. I don't know as of yet. Right now, it looks like the right decision, but I'm just not convinced. It has nothing to do with James Harden's skills. He's a superstar. I'm just not sure it's good for him to be the point guard against the better teams as the season progresses. But I'll admit I'm wrong if that time comes. I just don't think I will be.
This is exactly what I thought was going to happen with Harden running the point for D'Antoni. Look, of course they're not going to win a championship. The D'Antoni team's not going to win a championship, particularly not with Harden as their best player. Ain't going to happen. D'Antoni doesn't care about defense, and neither does Harden. It's one of the reasons they're a great match. They both care so much about the offense. And the thing about Harden, Stephen A. Smith, is he was always the point guard anyway. The offense ran through him anyway. The difference is, back then, pre-D'Antoni, he'd hold the ball, as you mentioned, and he would look for his own shot. And if he could get to the foul line or the free throw line, or if he could get off his own shot, great. And if not, as the shot clock's winding down, he'd get the ball to someone else for a less than very high percentage shot. With D'Antoni, what I knew was going to happen is the offense is still going to work through him, but he's going to use his offensive prowess to get other players open looks way earlier in the shot clock so the ball wouldn't stick with him as much. Now, and that's what's happening. Now, do I think he's an MVP? No. Although he is running that system like to perfection right now, he and Blake Griffin and a couple others are really playing the way their coaches want them to play extremely well. I just don't think he's the best player in the league. I think this is what D'Antoni does. D'Antoni is a coach for a team that maybe has a chance to win 45-plus games, be exciting, have highlights on SportsCenter all the time, have have the country talking about them, the NBA talking about them, but ultimately not play enough defense to advance very far in the playoffs. The advantage of that is players on D'Antoni's teams, their stats get inflated. They look better than they really are because usually people are mainly paying attention to offense. And the good thing from a GM's point of view, if Daryl Morey survives as the GM of the Rockets, is that you then have these inflated assets that you can trade for actually good players when it's time to move on from D'Antoni. And I think Harden fits that with D'Antoni perfectly. Harden's an excellent player, but D'Antoni is making him look like Superman, and and considering they ain't winning a championship anyway, it's a really, really good marriage.
It's entertaining. It's a good marriage to appease James Harden, but it's not going to facilitate a star of his caliber capturing a championship. That system's not going to work for that, particularly with him at the point guard spot. Other people are going to get involved naturally, but it's not going to be because James Harden is back there trying to be Chris Paul. It's going to be because you're getting rid of the ball so quickly because you're shooting shots in under 10 to 12 seconds, sometimes earlier, that as a result of that, there are going to be more offensive opportunities for his teammates. That's a good deal because you got 9 guys averaging at least 15 minutes a game and a 10th dude in this kid Montrezl Harrell out of Louisville that's averaging about 12. But in the grand scheme of things, is this going to facilitate Harden winning the way he wants to win? I don't think so, and that's my measuring stick as to whether a move is best or not.
All right, let's leave it there.